Alright guys, back with another video, and in this one we have a look at what beard type or style women find most attractive. Men tend to think that full beards look very masculine, and probably some of us think that women find this manly and attractive. Many also think that a clean-shaven look is what women want. In these pictures of Jason Momoa, we see that the beard style has a major impact on your facial looks, almost like two different people. As we can control our facial hair length, this puts us in a position where we can contribute to female perception of our attractiveness. So what does the current state of research say on this matter? Let's have a look at 3 studies. The first study is from 2008 from the Journal of Personality and Individual Differences. Neef et al. Showed 60 female participants the software-generated faces of a man with different beard length. The women were from widely different backgrounds to exclude bias. While ratings of masculinity, aggressiveness, and age went up with beard length, ratings of attractiveness followed an inverted U-shaped curve. The lowest preference was for clean-shaven and full beard, while the highest preference was for light and heavy stubble. Light beard was in between with regards to attractiveness. It's interesting to see that the perception of masculinity does not exactly follow the perception of attractiveness here. The second study is from 2013, found in the journal Evolution and Human Behavior. The study by Dixon and Brooks included 351 heterosexual women with a mean age of 28 years. Women were shown the faces of men with only their beard length changed. We can see an example of how this looked here. Again, we see that as beard length increases, perceived masculinity goes up. However, attractiveness again is strongest in the stubble type, heavy stubble in this analysis. Going even more in depth, the researchers also analyzed the fertility phase of women in their menstrual cycle. Participants were categorized as low and high in fertility, and a separate group was created for women using contraceptives. The results show that the preference for heavy stubble was existent for all types of phases. Note that women in the high fertility phase find men with beards more attractive than the other types, except the heavy stubble, and also perceive them as more masculine. However, this shows the superiority of heavy stubble over full beard when it comes to attractiveness, even in high fertility phases of women. The third study is also by Dixon and Brooks, but conducted 3 years later with a much larger sample of women to determine once and for all the superior beard style. With a final sample of 8,500 women that met the criteria for the study, they had them rate attractiveness of men's facial hair of standardized faces that had been manipulated to look more feminine or masculine. The women were presented with this range of manipulated faces, of which each had a different beard type. Results show that in the normal, unmanipulated faces, the heavy stubble outperformed all the other beard types. The light stubble was a close second and the full beard ranking third. The clean-shaven style was chosen as least attractive. Note 2 things here. When the face was strongly feminized, a full beard and heavy stubble was rated equally as most attractive. When the face was strongly masculinized, the light stubble was rated as more attractive than the heavy stubble. So basically we can derive that if you have a very feminine face, a full beard or heavy stubble can serve to balance how attractive you are perceived by women. And if you have a very masculine face, a light or heavy stubble are the best choice to balance your facial features out. But over all kinds of face types, the heavy stubble is the best overall bet. With regards to relationship context, the heavy stubble outperformed all other beard lengths in all areas: overall attractiveness, long-term and short-term relationships. The only exception is the light stubble, being a tiny bit more preferred when it comes to short-term relationships, but not overall attractiveness. These results show that in a large sample of women, preference across face types goes largely to the heavy stubble. Here you can have a look what the beards are defined as in terms of length. The clean-shaven is obviously clean-shaven, the light stubble is 5 days of beard growth, the heavy stubble is 10 days of beard growth, and the full beard was at least 1 month of beard growth. Alright, let's sum this up. The first study showed general preference for light and heavy stubble, with the light stubble having a small edge. It was, however, also a small sample of female participants. In the second study, the sample size was larger, and the heavy stubble clearly outperformed all other types of beards in terms of attractiveness. The third study had an even larger sample size, and the findings confirmed the aforementioned study results. The heavy stubble performed best in unmanipulated faces or slightly adapted faces. In extreme cases of feminization or masculinization, the heavy stubble was still the overall best bet, with the full beard being an equally valid option in case of extreme feminization. In case of extreme masculinization, the light stubble might balance things out better than the heavy stubble, which came in as a close second. And in a relationship context, the heavy stubble performed best in terms of overall attractiveness and long-term attractiveness. The light stubble only had the edge in terms of short-term relationship, but to a negligible degree. So in terms of what the overall most attractive beard style is, we have a clear winner: the heavy stubble. So grab your razor and trim that beard to a wonderfully attractive heavy stubble, or let it grow a little if you're usually clean-shaven, and get ready to turn those girls' heads.